Recording started. I cannot believe, as usual, that we are already in week 4, that this is our final week. This is the end of our course. This week you have 2 discussion boards, as usual, 1 video response, 1 test review. And it's important to note that a lot of these questions on the test review will also be on the final exam. So this is a great chance to practice. Hi, Therese. My goodness. I had no idea so many of you could show up for this. I'm glad you made it. Yay! On the test review, you have unlimited attempts. So please do take that more than once so that you'll be ready to go for the final exam. And also, you have your essay about early friendships. And I really love this assignment. Turn my computer a little bit here. I've got horrible lighting this afternoon. I really like the essay on early friendships because it really makes you think about grade school and who your buddies were back then and sort of why you were friends. It's a great sort of jog down memory lane. And just like when we were talking about the games that you played in early childhood, it always brings up memories for me as well. So like some of you had brought up dodgeball and Red Rover and, you know, all those great playground games. And I was instantly reminded of playing those and how much fun it was. So the same thing goes with early friendships too. I had 2 good buddies, and we were all the shy girls in class. So we were very shy, we were very quiet, but when we had sleepovers, we had so much fun, and we were always Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters from back in the day. So we would put on shows and sing songs, and it was so much fun. So I want you guys to think back to those early days of friendship as well, so that you can consider what it's like for your kids forming their early friendships. So anyway, love it. Final exam, also this week, you have a 3-hour limit. That's a little extra time. You probably won't need 3 hours, and you have 2 attempts. So if it goes horribly wrong the first time, please take it again. Also, everything needs to be turned in by Sunday at midnight. Go in and check grader report. I actually have a couple more assignments from week 3 to finish grading, but if you'll look back on week 1 and week 2 and make sure everything's there, that you're getting points for the things you've turned in, that would be great. And our next course begins on Monday for some of you, but not everyone. You've got a week 2 assignment not graded. Oh, those went in a little bit later. I will get caught up on those, Brittany. I'm sorry about that. That's all right. Let me make a note. I will check those as soon as we get off, okay? Gotcha. Next, on Monday, for those of you that aren't beginning externship, because I have several that are, we'll have our next course, which is ECE 111, and it's one of my favorites. I'm so looking forward to reteaching this class again. Yes, Sarah, I will. But here's the thing, we'll have to wait until after graduation day, though, because we don't receive those until right before graduation. So that's when I can get you your red cap and gown and your tassel as well. Yes. Which is amazing to be a Red Rover. Good job. So ECE 111, the next course is Language and Literacy. It's so much fun. I love this class because we are talking about children's books, building children's libraries, and also our final project in this class is you put together a literacy bag, and they're great things to learn how to build and be able to do for your potential center someday, or maybe if you're doing home daycare or just for your classroom, to be able to put together a literacy bag that can go home with your kiddos over the weekend. And we'll be talking more about that in ECE 111. So I hope you look forward to it. You were at DQ and you opened your email. Oh, Sarah, that's great. That's a good place to get good news. That's wonderful. Okay, and lastly, another reminder of career fair. Tomorrow, 10 to 1 and 5:30 to 7. I put a quick slide in here. So there's 2 different sessions that you can go to. You don't have to stay the whole time. Just show up anytime in between those hours, okay? How to dress for career fair. I thought I would put this up because it's hard to know, depending on your major, depending on who you might be seeing. You know, some of our surge techs and nursing assistants will probably be wearing their scrubs because they will be on campus at school, but that's what they would wear in their profession, which is perfectly great. Now, you guys, it would be great for ECE students to dress as you would for an interview. So think about what you would wear for an interview. A lot of people just say wear your church clothes, you know, but even that term has sort of evolved over the years. I've seen some people wear stuff to church that you wouldn't wear to an interview. So you want to think about making your first impression. This is one that I put in because I'm old school. If you have long hair, wear it up. Put it up in a clip, put it up in a ponytail, because you don't want them being distracted by your hair. And hair can be a distraction. It's sticking out someplace, weird. You have long hair that's falling out of your hair. It happens to me all the time. It just looks more professional when it's up. You look more put together. And we want you looking put together for that interview. If you've got short hair, it's fine. Even medium length is fine. But it's fairly long, go ahead and clip it up. Medium makeup, if you wear it, and if you don't wear it, you still might consider putting on just a little lip gloss, a little powder, just something to polish you up a little bit. Save the red matte lip gloss for the weekend. Don't worry about that for this career fair. You want something more of a neutral tone. Black, blue, and brown are considered the good colors to wear to an interview. In fact, they say that brown is the new black, so it can be used, you know, interchangeably. And blue is the most worldly accepted color. So more people like blue than any other color. Also, you might wear dress, a skirt, or slacks. A lot of people don't do dresses and skirts anymore. I love maxi skirts though, or slacks. You just want to look nice. And generally, closed-toed shoes look better than open-toed shoes unless you have an amazing manicure going on. Then by all means, you could show that off a little bit. So I wanted to put that up just as a few tips for you. And this would also be tips for your externship interview, right? Jasmine, I'm sure you've heard a few of these things from our Career Services Department, or if you were interviewing for a position. And there are incredible interview faux pas that happen all the time. I've heard of people wearing ball caps into interviews, guys. One of my students in the Poto area, when I used to teach down for them, she ran her own daycare center, and she had a student coming in to get an application to apply for a job, and she was wearing pajama pants and a tube top. I'm not kidding you. And she said there's no way she was going to hire her, you know, coming in like that. So be professional. Oh, gotcha, Brittany. So you might be there, but the pre-prego clothes no longer fit. Oh, that's where that elastic band around the button and the buttonhole come in handy. Long T-shirts, whatever you have to do there, right? Get creative. I remember that stage, although it's been 14 years ago, but I still remember it. You guys have a lot more cuter clothes now. Okay, week 4, we're going to talk about death, discipline, and friendships, because it's definitely part of emotional and social development of our kiddos. They are going to go through each of these. Oh, you do? Well, good, Brittany. There you go. You put the hairband through the buttonhole and then loop it over the button. It gives you a few extra inches there. Okay, so we're going to talk about the most serious subject first. And I know this is a pretty heavy one to start with as well, but helping children understand death, it's good to talk about it. It's good to be able to use the word even. I know we don't want to talk about it, but it happens. And so it's good that with children that we have a little background to be able to help explain some things to them. So this is the first one that I really like. Let me get my pointer out here. I need my sunshine pointer. Number one, teach that death is part of life. Don't avoid talking about it. You can use examples in nature, for example, wilting flowers, you know, changing seasons, leaves falling off a tree, having pets. And, you know, this is something that, oh, there's Marilyn too. Hi, Marilyn. This is something that farm kids see a lot, just from having pets, but also from having cattle. And you understand what I'm saying, Sarah? They get used to the subject, and they understand, I think, sometimes a little more of their life and death because of what they see on a daily basis. So I like this too. It says to visit elderly friends or family members to show children that aging is normal. You know, there's lots of children that are actually a little frightened by old people. The wrinkles and how they move different and they talk different. I love old people. I love being around them. My grandparents, I love working in a nursing home because of all the stories I got to hear from the elderly patients there. So you want your children to sort of have that same attitude. Oh, Heidi lost one of her silkies. Oh no. Yes, and I love silkies. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, we do. We lose an occasional chicken. We lost our rooster maybe about a month back or so. But it's okay. We had two more. Okay, be honest. I like this one too. Present the information in a straightforward manner. For instance, say the words, "Granddad died last night," instead of saying he went to sleep or he's gone away, because those are sort of vague. Even using the term he's gone up to heaven is still, they need to be able to understand what's really happened here. So these terms leave the children wondering, yeah, if I go to sleep, am I going to die? And you guys may remember that, oh, what was that little bedtime prayer? Now I laid me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul is to keep. If I should die before I wake. I remember saying that one, and it scared me. So, you know, think about how a children feels about this. Oh, when your grandpa passed away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they need to know. And I really like this last part on number 2 that says, try using the phrase, their bodies stopped working. And doesn't that just make sense? That's a good way to word it. You know, the heart has stopped, the organs have stopped, their body stopped working. So that gives them maybe a better idea. And lastly, don't delay talking about it, because you don't want their children to find out from somebody else, overheard a conversation. Bye, Jasmine. Good luck. Oh, there you go. That's good, Sarah. So he was sick. He was in the hospital, but the doctors couldn't fix him. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There you go. So we have to be able to talk about it. And you know, I think it gets easier with age too. When I was younger, it was a very hard subject for me, and sometimes we have to help the children find the words to help them describe what's going on in their minds, and to help describe their feelings that they're having too, because it may be their first time having this. Answer the questions that come up, try to be honest, recognize that they do have fears and that death can be scary, and know that there are actually lots of children's books that address this issue as well. So maybe as a classroom teacher, you have a child that's lost a family member or a friend. That might be a good time to bring in one of these books and talk about it with the whole class and read it to the class so that you can make them feel a little bit better, right? Let them see you grieve. Don't hide that you're crying. They need to know that emotions are normal and that crying helps us, right? That it's okay to do that, boy or girl, it's fine. Cherish the memories, continue to talk about the loved one, look at photo albums if you need to, talk about the funny things that happened in their lives, things to remember. And you know, some families will put up pictures sort of in a shrine area or on a wall. So, and children take their cues from us, so we want to model for them the correct way to relate with death and grief. So it's always, you know, it's a hard process, but it's also a teaching opportunity. Yeah. Oh, you go to their graves too, Sarah. Oh, that's good. That's good. And you know, for Memorial Day, my kids go with my mom, their grandma, to the graves to decorate. And in the process, my mom always tells stories about, you know, whoever graves we're decorating, and I think it's kind of a fun thing to do. Yeah. Oh, your son cheers you up when you cry by giving kisses. See, and that's sweet. And children will innately do that. That is in them, to try to make somebody happier. That's great. So do you guys have any other ideas other than the ones we just talked about? Any other ideas for helping children understand or deal with death? Maybe you had something happen in the family or to a friend, and they had something that they did that you thought was just really cool that might help a child. Can you think of anything? And this was already brought up, Sarah. Thank you. But let me see if I can get my text up here. Visiting the graves, right? And what else? Reading books. Oh, your son has old hats of your grandpa's. That's great. Blankets or pillows. Oh, I've seen so many great ones recently. I know what you're talking about, Sarah. We'll call them memory blankets or pillows, so we don't just act like it didn't happen, right? We want to celebrate that person in their life. Yeah. I love the hats because my grandpa had so many ball caps. And some people, oh, release balloons. That's a great idea. To honor their birthdays still. Yeah. That's great. And you know, more and more people are choosing cremation over you know, being in the ground in a casket, I guess we'd say. But and what you see from the different cremation services are, you know, of course, urns, but there's also these beautiful works of art that they make out of the ashes, and necklace mementos and ring mementos that they can create as a reminder and kind of a special thing. Yeah. So you guys get the idea. This is going to come up in your classroom at some point, and it'll come up several times. And you know, each time you deal with it, you'll get a little bit better at it too. It's something that does, I think, take practice. Your aunt took your cousin to the funeral so that she could see that she was no longer alive. At first she thought it was crazy, but it seemed to help her understand. You know, I think you're right, Brittany. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that before. And you know, this is a weird comparison, but I've seen it with pets as well. When a buddy dog has passed away, and then they let the other dog see the dog, so that they do know that, you know, that they're no longer breathing, that something has changed, and they can sense it. And as people, you know, with our little brains working and stuff on a maybe a little bit higher caliber, we have to, yeah, sometimes see things to believe them, to understand them. So I think that's great. Yeah, that is. I remember in 3rd grade was when my great-great-grandmother passed away, and my parents gave me the option of going to the funeral or not, and I didn't because I was scared. I was really scared of what would happen at a funeral. And, you know, years down the road, I really wish I had gone, you know, but they did. They gave me that option of whether or not I wanted to. Okay, so that is death in early childhood and talking about these things. Okay, next was discipline. Providing training that develops self-control, character, orderliness, efficiency, to instruct or to educate, to love, guide, nurture, support. There's all these different terms that describes it. Providing strategies that build community and relationship. Viewing behavior occurrences as opportunities to teach. So let's talk a little bit about discipline. The two main things we talked about in the chapter were negative discipline. So last live lecture we talked about the difference between discipline and punishment, right? So punishing only decreases some of those undesired behaviors, but it doesn't necessarily increase the desired behavior. And we talked about that with timeouts, that it is a form of punishment, but we can talk about the behavior that we need to see and use it as a teaching opportunity. Also, punishment in the form of maybe spanking can model aggression or hitting, depending on how it's done. It can sometimes humiliate or demoralize a child, hurt their self-esteem, and create this cycle that you can get into. And I've seen parents get into this cycle of their child just constantly being in trouble or constantly being spanked throughout the day, and it becomes very ineffective. Hi, Jessica. Because it's just like being yelled at. When a child is yelled at a lot, it loses any significance because they're just used to it. It's just normal. But if you keep your voice fairly low, and when you are getting very serious, and I'm not saying yelling, just raising your voice, it really can make an impact then. Destroying relationships leads to emotional and behavioral problems. So those are all negative discipline. Now let's look at some of the positive discipline. So positive discipline is constructive. So we're wanting to build off of it. You talk to your kids, I can scream at my kids, they look at me like I'm crazy and keep doing their thing. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Mom, she's just screaming again. I understand that, Sarah. Okay, so guidelines to constructive discipline. Catch the child being good, compliment them when they're doing the right thing, when they're making the right grades, when they're making the right decisions. Encourage them, children, to see their own strengths. So sort of help them find what they're good at and what their positive image is. Manipulate the surroundings. Keep them from frequently having to confront the problem that he's having problems with solving, right? I saw this happen in a behavior disorders classroom with a teacher. I was a substitute teacher, and the classroom teacher was, to me, a little bit of a bully when it came to the kids. And I saw this one little boy that had anger issues, and she would purposely make him mad to get him to go off, to lose his cool, and then he'd be in trouble. And I would feel so sorry for this little guy because he could have had a great day, but at the end of the day, I could see this happening, this button pushing, and luckily that teacher wasn't there the next year. Exactly. Exactly. So you don't want to create an environment where you know it's going to happen. So sometimes we have to pad it a little bit. So one of the things that she could have done is realize what she was doing herself. And instead of pushing his buttons, instead of doing that, focusing on catching him being good and the good things he was doing. Express interest in the child's activities and the things that they're good at, the things that they enjoy, and use physical constraint. So if they've lost control, the child must be removed from the scene to keep him from hurting others. And you know, if you work in a special ed classroom, this might be something that you guys do someday as a para. They actually teach you how to do this in a safe manner, because we are teaching them to not hurt others. We're teaching them how to control their emotions. And this is just part of growing up. Some kids, it takes a little bit longer than others. Friends are the family we choose for ourselves. And I love that. I have so many friends that I have chosen for myself. Let's talk about friendship skills. Very, very important. And you guys will see this in the younger kids. You'll see good things, you'll see bad things. So you want to arrange opportunities for them to meet lots of people. Learn from seeing how you treat your friends, how you talk to your friends. And you know, at a certain point, children really don't understand sarcasm. I use it a lot as an adult. But I know that with other adults it's fine, those that know me well. But with children, sarcasm can come across very negatively and they just don't understand it. So sometimes you have to change your language and not use the sarcasm, and really even up until high school. There's still some kids that really don't catch on to that, and it can actually have more of a negative effect than you intended. Children find it easier to get along with others if they can do the same thing. So if they're swimming or doing art, so maybe you might have, as friendship skills, you might have some type of a group that they get together and do something, such as playing games. They learn how to cooperate, how to consider others, how to follow rules. Games are wonderful. Stickball, I don't know, cheerleading, there's all these different things, swimming that they can do in groups or on teams when they're little, flag football, and read stories about friends and how they have met and their friendships. And in our next class in language and literacy, we'll talk about 1, 2, 3, We're Amazing, from Sesame Street, which is a friendship book that deals with autism, and it's really great. I'm looking forward to sharing that one with you. Friendship skills, again, have other children over. Wait, is this the same thing? This is some of the same stuff. When children are first learning to play together, have something planned for them to do, teach them to smile and greet people. And it's kind of controversial on the idea of making a child hug even a family member or making them give grandma or grandpa kisses if they don't want to. You know, maybe that's not something they're comfortable with. So now they're saying, you know, yes, smiling and saying hi is fantastic, but we shouldn't make them do things that they're not ready for, they're not comfortable doing. And sometimes hugging an old person is creepy to them. It wasn't to me. I loved hugging my grandma and grandpa. But it varies child to child. Have them show interest in what others are doing, give compliments, praise your child for being friendly and that they're doing a great job being a friend, point out what they're doing right, and help children use words to say such as, I would like to my turn with that, or would you like to play house with me, because they don't even know really how to ask someone to play with them. It doesn't just happen naturally sometimes. So we want to give them some of those skills. Hope that makes sense. All right, are there any questions or concerns right now, guys? This was kind of a short class, but I know you have other things to do this week and for the rest of this day, and I'm just happy that you guys can make it for the day lecture. And my plan is, Jessica, I know you may need to go back and watch the video. I'll have it up later today. I'll have the YouTube and the My Course Connection version up. It takes a while to do some conversions on the video, but oh, no problem. But it'll be up. I'm going to guess by 5 o'clock today. I should have both of those up if you need to go back and look at them. Okay, no problem. Hey, I'm always happy when you guys come in, even if it's late, that's fine. You catch a little bit of it, and you get a chance to ask questions if you need to. And let me make sure Marilyn gets written down. All right, so if there's no other questions, you guys are free to go on about your day. Week 4, if you have any questions, call me, email me, Facebook me. And this is Sarah's last one. That's right. Sarah's going to be doing her externship soon and be graduating. So good job. That's right. That's right. And we're buddies on Facebook. So if you guys want to go to my Facebook page, you'd be able to find her easily there. Bye, Sarah. Good luck with externship. And you guys, good luck with the rest of your week, okay? It's been fun, Sarah. I'm going to miss you in class. I may have to get Opal to start raising chickens or something so we can have our conversation still. Opal, could you do that for me? Or Therese, is anybody interested in chickens? Okay. Okay, great. They're neat. They are neat trees. Silkies are beautiful, Sarah. There you go. And meat chickens are outside. Gotcha. It's good to have them out of the house. You do, Brittany. Silkies are beautiful. Yeah. Well, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next week. If you can make it, it'll be same day, I believe, same time as well, since we have open house next Thursday. Again, it interferes with our Thursday night live lecture time, but then after that, we'll be back to our normal times. Okay, great. Bye, Sarah.